So today let's take a look at page 5 in your packets. First thing that we're going to talk about, there's this thing called the triangle angle sum theorem. Now this is not really that new a theorem to us. We're just putting a name on it. And all that theorem is that the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So if I take the measure of angle A and add it to the measure of angle B, and I add it to the measure of angle C, all of those together should equal 180 degrees. And that's something that we already talked about last class, and you probably came to this class already knowing. And we're going to use it a lot now. Something that is a little bit new to us would be this guy right here. This is called the exterior angle theorem. And what it says is an exterior angle is formed by extending any one side of the triangle. So you see I've got my triangle right here. I can make an exterior angle on any of these sides, but they specifically chose to take this bottom here and they extended that out to make the exterior angle 1. So I'm going to just label that my exterior angle. And what it tells me there is an exterior angle is always equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. Remember, adjacent means next to. So this is next to it. That's my adjacent angle. But it wants the non-adjacent angles. So in this case, that's going to be angles 2 and 3. So the measure of angle 1, my exterior angle, is equal to the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. So let's actually see how we're going to use those things. For example, I'm going to look at number 1 right here. Number 1, they're asking me to find the measure of angle 1. Well, I know, first off, I don't have any exterior angles there, so I'm not really dealing with any of that business just yet. But I know that there's 180 degrees in this triangle regardless. I also know that 24 plus 32 of the degrees are taken up by the other two angles. So I'm going to figure out what that is. 37 plus 24 at 61. In order to find what the other angle is, I'm just subtracting those two. Measure of angle 1 is 119. I don't think that's too tricky. Then for number 2, that's where we start to get into the exterior angle stuff. So I'm going to keep, luckily we have our theorem right there above us. Angle 1, that's my exterior angle. That's the thing that they are looking for. So using that exterior angle theorem, it's saying that the measure of angle 1 is equal to those two non-adjacent angles added together. Those are both non-adjacent. You have to make sure that they actually gave you the non-adjacent ones, and if they didn't, look for other ways that you can solve. But right here, they gave me those two other they gave me the two non-adjacent angles, so all I'm doing to find what the measure of angle 1 is I'm adding the other two together. So that'll give me 128. And that's it. That is it. Let's take a look at, I want to take a look at the next page, because all of these, I know they look really ugly, all of these angles, 1 through whatever it is, 1 through 11. I know they look ugly, but it's all the same stuff. It's based on a lot of stuff you know. So I want to take a look at these down here, because these are where people really start getting scared, when there's not just numbers involved, there's variables. But you're doing the exact same thing that you would have done before. So if I look at like number 12, for example, they're giving me three different expressions to represent all of those angles in there. I know that all the angles, we said this before, all the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. That's something that we've already discussed. Well, if they're giving me three things that represent each of those angles, all I've got to do is add them all up and set them equal to 180. So then I've got 25x. I've got a 3 minus a 2, which gives me 1 minus 21, so that's negative 20, equals 180. Solve that out, and you'll get x equals 8. And then much like a lot of the stuff that we've been doing in this class, all you're doing now is taking that 8 and plugging it into each of these things. Measure of angle D is 5x minus 2. I know what x is now. D is actually 38. And that's what you're going to do for each of those. And then the last one that I want to look at is down here, number 15. And that goes with our exterior angle theorem. Remember, exterior angle theorem tells me that my exterior angle, in this case, 9x minus 8, is equal to the sum of the non-adjacent interior angles. Well, they gave those to me. So I'm going to say 9x minus 8 equals 7x minus 32 plus 5x minus 27. And then I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm going to solve for x and then plug into each of those angles to find out what they are. So that's all for today. I know the other video was a little bit long, so I tried to keep this one a little bit shorter. And I'll leave you guys with some problems to practice this stuff on that I'll expect to see done tomorrow.